the passion and commitment that you have on passive is overwhelming. And that makes it like, for someone who doesn't know you, feel like maybe on passive is the only thing that you have to do. So if you can, please tell us about yourself.
Sure. I've been in business for myself now for over 20 years, specifically on the internet, for about 15, and for the last 10, internet marketing. Okay. And so specialize in email marketing. I use emails to present for me, to follow up for me, to close a sale for me. So, that's pretty much what I do. Background wise, education, university grad, math degree, but for me, my mind has always been as an entrepreneur, even from a young age, being in university, buying electronics, and then come to the university and sell it to the kids. There will be TV, VCRs, things of that nature. Myself and a couple other friends, we started the business also around that same time back in university, where we were selling, T-shirts and shoes and stuff like that. So we've always had that entrepreneurial spirit, and for me, as life progressed and I decided to get into the internet marketing world, it's just been an eye-opener to really understand how one can make money while you're sleeping. That is something that people really have to be able to do in order to truly achieve in life. For me, it's always been about helping others. Anything I can do to help someone better themselves in life, I'm always for that. I'm always supporting that. So when I saw ONPASSIVE back in 2018, it really just made perfect sense. What Mr. Ashmafar, was looking to do, it resonated with my spirit. And so I jumped in and just haven't looked back, just locked arm with him and the company and just continue to spread the word, as much as possible right around the globe.
You have been an entrepreneur like almost for the whole of your life, which means you are really rich with experience. So how successful has been your business and so on, or what have been some challenges? How have you been managing that till now?
Oh, well, I can say this: we've made millions and we've lost millions.
Right.
Right. So, and that's just the circle of life, but with what we were doing specifically with internet marketing is having a complete done for you system, where people could join our business and that's all they had to do was get in. They got in, we would set up autoresponders for them, capture pages, landing pages, a domain name, drive the traffic for them, just do everything for them, answer the questions for them, so they really just came in and didn't have to do anything, but one of the challenges that we were having, or the main challenge really, was that we had a subscription-based system. So people had to pay out of their pocket every single month, whether they were making money or not, and so for a lot of people, if they weren't making the money fast enough, they would quit. Right. And so now, okay, we're spinning our wheels, keep replacing these individuals, so after a while, I mean, it becomes a bit much because you're just doing the same thing over and over again. So while, yeah, you're making money because It's your system, you created it, et cetera, but the people coming in, they weren't achieving the success that they kind of signed up for, and so that, so that led me to always try to find ways to better the system, to make it to the point where, people can actually get the success that they deserve, and so that's why with ONPASSIVE, it makes so much sense to just kind of come to a halt, right? And just do a complete, 180-degree turn, going a complete different direction by focusing all my efforts within ONPASSIVE.
Oh. So if you said people had to, like, it was on subscription base and people have to come out of month. So was it like, I know it was your business. So did you make it kind of network marketing, or what was it exactly like?
Yeah, well, it's affiliate marketing, right? So, we had companies, so it wasn't our own companies. We had companies within our system. So the system was ours, but these were, companies that existed. And for the most part, like, we still have 2 of those companies that have been around for over 20 years. So these are, long-standing companies that are pretty much solid, staples on the internet, if you wish. But yet it's affiliate based, meaning that in order to make money, you had to sell the company's products to others, and or get others to join the business as well, and they in turn do the same. So that's always the difficulty, right? The difficulty is having people duplicate, right? Having people be able to come into a company or a system, a business, and then they in turn have to now reproduce by going out there and getting others to join. So that's always a challenge for people, because most people are not salespeople. They can't sell, they don't want to sell. Sometimes you have to force them to sell, but it never works out, right? Because some, and I would say a few, even a handful really, that are actually good at sales, right? But most people, they're not. That's why it doesn't matter what the industry is when it comes to selling. Most people, at a particular company, a particular job, they always moving on to the next, because they don't last long in that industry, or when it comes to selling. Most people don't last long.
Okay. Yeah. So listening to you, it sounds to me like you as an individual, the business has been a success, but your worry now was the fact that you did not feel really rewarded from the fact that people are not able to make it like they would have loved to, right?
That is so correct. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So now, you are into ONPASSIVE. Is it because you want to make residual income? Is it because you want to promote your business, or you just want to abandon everything and take a new path all along with ONPASSIVE?
Yeah, well, basically, we've abandoned everything in the sense of, we're not doing it for others anymore, right? We're just basically, use our system for ourselves, but basically making ONPASSIVE. To me, ONPASSIVE is automatic internet millionaire. That's what ONPASSIVE is. ONPASSIVE is automatic internet millionaire. Why? Because ONPASSIVE will automate the entire process from you. So there's the automatic, okay? It's internet based, okay? So there's the internet, right? And I believe that people can become millionaires within ONPASSIVE. So automatic internet millionaire. So to me, I may have started something 10 years ago, right? And then here comes ONPASSIVE being able to fulfill what I was trying to do all this time. So it's just a perfect fit. Wow. So
you created AIM it is automatic internet millionaire, but then you are only landing there right now from what I get, so you started like a few years ago, but this is exactly now that is really going to materialize. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. Yes, because that was the problem, is that our goal was to help everyone that came to us to become an automatic internet millionaire. And like I said, a lot of them weren't getting the success that they were looking for and that we wanted for them. But here with ONPASSIVE, it can now be materialized.
Thank you. So apart from that, people still think when you present ONPASSIVE to people, they say it is too good to be true, because what they believe is they understand when network marketers go recruiting, they do all the auto ship, get products and sell and make money. So they don't understand the fact that you don't do anything and you become an automatic internet millionaire, like we're saying now. So what do you want to say about that?
Well, it's because people, lack of knowledge, right? Lack of knowledge, right? We know what happens when people don't have the correct knowledge, right? So with ONPASSIVE, right? If people understand network marketing, if they understand that, yes, I need to go sell products, I need to refer others, okay? As long as I keep doing that, I'm going to make money, okay? So ONPASSIVE is saying, yes, we understand that. So we are going to sell products, except you don't have to sell it, right? But we're going to sell products though, right? The company's going to sell it, right? We're going to refer others, but guess what? You don't have to refer others because we're going to do it. So it's the same things are being done, the same actions. It's just instead of you doing it, the company says we're going to do it. So now the tables is turned. We don't work for the company. The company ONPASSIVE actually works for us. That is completely different. That is a game changer, right? And so that's what people have to understand, that yes, products are involved. They're digital products, right? And a lot of these products people are actually using. People are using, people buy domain names. They go to GoDaddy, right? So they're buying domain name. People want to use a bulk mailer. They want to send out, hundreds, even millions of emails at a time. Guess what? They use a company like JMailer Pro, Okay, if they want autoresponders, there's Get Response A. So these are all products that are there in the marketplace. OnPassive is just taking it to another level. OnPassive is offering people an unlimited base based upon the products that they'll be utilizing. OnPassive is giving them something that's more cost effective. OnPassive is putting everything under one umbrella, right? So it's nothing new as far as, oh, I've never heard of that product before, I've never heard of that. No, taking what people are already using, which is brilliant because it means you have a ready available market. If people are using something already, it's not a huge transition to get them to switch from, say, using Zoom, for example, versus using OConnect, right? People are already familiar using webinar platforms, AnyMeeting, GoToWebinar, right? Now you present them something that's more cost effective, better features, right? People are going to jump to that. Not everyone, but we're certainly going to get a good percentage, right? And that's all that's needed. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So people feel right now we are over 500,000 active registered members or positions of OnPassive. And many people, again, they're wondering, you have already over 500,000 and you promise people passive income, everything automated and so on and so forth. And how are you going to be able to compensate all of these founding members as you're promising as a company OnPassive?
Well, we know that this year alone, 2021, there's going to be $4.9 trillion of sales on the internet. Okay, that's a lot of money. Okay, so we know that people are engaged on the internet. We know that there's almost 5 billion internet users. Okay, that's a lot of people. Right. So if OnPassive have 600,000, even 1 million customers, like what is that, right? What is that compared to billions, right, of individuals on the internet, right? So it's just a matter of supply and demand, right? We know there's a demand for all these products because people are using them, right? We know, even a crowdfunding platform, right, where we see that GoFundMe, they're making over $100 million a year in revenue, right? So it's a non-issue as far as the numbers, right? OnPassive can go up to, 1 billion, 2 billion individuals within the company. So we've basically barely scratched the scratch of the surface, right, of the potential of individuals coming into OnPassive as customers and or resellers, right? So the numbers is a non-factor, right? All these 600,000 individuals, OnPassive is not saying that, oh, all of them are going to be millionaires, right? But they're saying that all of them will be successful. They will succeed, but obviously there'll be different levels of success, right?
Okay, so this one thing that we know about OnPassive is how much self-confidence that this company has. We are just so sure that the moment we go out there, we are going to get the customers, we are going to get everything we need, and we're going to explode. So it's not like OnPassive has anything to offer that is not existing yet. You are not here to reinvent the wheel. What actually makes it stand out, that gives this self-confidence that we are sure we will make it? Because what's the reason for that?
Well, there's several reasons, but one of them is certainly the fact that with these 600,000 plus that we have right now, that means when OnPassive opens its doors, it has at least 600,000 customers, right? That is massive, right? Which other company have actually opened their door and on day one, they have 600,000 customers, right? And so that's something that people don't realize. All these founders that we have and continue to grow, right? When we get there, when we get to hard launch, all these founders now become customers. It's just a beautiful way to do your business, is that you're pre-building. So the same way we as individuals are pre-building our income for life, well, guess what OnPassive is doing? OnPassive is pre-building its customer base, right? So there is a demand just by having these 600,000. So to me, just when you just look at that, just that one point alone, people can see that it's already a success. It's already a success. If you're going to have 600,000 customers spending anywhere from $100 up to $250 on day one, that's a lot of money. And that's just day one.
Oh. All right. So what we know is founders have to come out of pocket 2 times in their lifetime. First time, $97 as registration. And then the last time would be an approximate amount of $250 as first subscription. So the question here is, what if I register today for $97 and after launch, I'm unable to raise $250 to pay my first subscription? Will I be left out?
Absolutely not. And the company is designed in such a way that even before you get to launch, it's possible to generate that $250. It's possible to generate income during the soft launch phase, right? And if you do so, okay, then you've now have the money that's needed for hard launch. But let's say worst case scenario, you actually get to hard launch and there is no money for whatever the reason may be, okay? ONPASSIVE still gives you a time, because ONPASSIVE is about the people. This is a business built by the people, for the people. It's that type of business that we're engaged in. So when you get there, and if it's not there, if the funds are not there, people will have enough time. The company will allow them time, to be able to come up with that, right, as needed. And there's so many different ways to help a person get to that figure, to be able to take care of that first initial subscription. There's lots of ways. Such as, the overflow aspect of when we get there. If people see that, oh, wait a minute, as long as I make that first product purchase, oh, I'm going to make $500. You're going to find that 200 or 250 or whatever, you're going to find it from somewhere. If it means that I'm not going to pay my hydro bill, right this second, I'm going to take that money and go make my purchase because I know what it's going to do for me. And I know that the funds is coming back, fairly quickly, right? So people will do what they need to do to get there. It's that, to me, that's not even an issue. It won't be an issue for not even one single person. It won't be an issue because people are creative, right? And they will find ways and means to make sure that it's taken care of.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So you just said something that caught my attention. You said that because we know that on a soft launch is that period where they are going to do the testing and so on. So how possible is that someone is going to be able to make some money during soft launch, because we think that money making only comes after launch?
Well, I can tell you this, there will be individuals that's going to see 50,000, maybe even 100,000 during soft launch.
Okay.
From what our CEO has said is that, some people are going to love soft launch. They're not even going to be worrying about hard launch anymore, right? But the thing is that, remember now, the company is going to be testing its marketing campaigns as well. Okay, so from the company's marketing campaigns during the soft launch, it is possible that you can generate income from that. And then, of course, there's your own effort, right? And if you have a team, any team, whether it's 10, whether it's 1,000, it doesn't matter. If you have any type of a team, that also increases your probability of generating income during soft launch. So it's very, very possible for people to be able to walk away out of soft launch with at least enough to make that product package purchase.
Oh, that sounds very, very reassuring and encouraging too. So thank you for making us know that. So most of the questions I have here, they're coming from people, we talk to them and so on. So I just put them exactly as I get them. So another question is like, how often will founders be getting their commission when ONPASSIVE finally launches?
Okay, so what will happen is that as soon as a sale is made, okay, so as soon as there's a new customer, right, people will get paid instantly. Okay, so if I get a customer today, I'm paid today. If I get a customer a week from now, I'm paid a week from now. It's instant. Okay, so it goes instantly into our wallet, and which we'll have access to, again, right away. So we can withdraw daily, weekly, monthly. As long as sales are being generated, people are getting paid, right, the same time those sales are occurring.
Okay, so we once again back to the $97 and the $250. So what is actually this money meant for? Is it like when you pay the 97 plus approximately 250, you become a shareholder of the company ONPASSIVE?
Yeah, well, you're not a shareholder because ONPASSIVE is not a public company. There will not be any IPO, initial public offering. It's a business, and so you're paying $97 to join that business as a founding member. Okay, so so 10 years from now, you'll be able to tell your kids or grandkids or whomever, that yes, I was a founding member of ONPASSIVE, right? This giant that is called ONPASSIVE. Yeah, that was me, right? So That's what people are paying for. They're paying to be first in, be the early birds, right? And that in itself will come with benefits. People will be able to have extra advertising and marketing that they'll receive during soft launch and even after hard launch for an entire year, right? That benefit's worth more than $97, right?
Mm-hmm.
I understand the traffic industry. I used to spend over $30,000 per month just on traffic alone. So the advertising and marketing that people are getting, just take that $97 and just know that it was well spent just for that alone. And then, of course, by getting in early, by getting in as a founder, you have the ability to pre-build your team, to pre-build your customer base, right? Mm-hmm. So you have that ability, and then, of course, you're ahead of all the millions of customers that will be coming, right? So all these benefits you're getting for that $97. And some people even look at it as, okay, just add it to my product package and look at it as a deposit, on my product package purchase, because it's only the one time out of pocket. Okay. So it's money well spent, right? It's money well spent, and it's setting you up, it's setting you up for success for life.
Wow, thank you. So founders, some people think that founders not knowing exactly when ONPASSIVE is going to launch, and equally they have no idea exactly approximately how much one can be earning when we launch, is an indication to other people that there is no communication between the CEO, Mr. Ash Mufare, and the founding members. So what do you want to say about that?
Well, I mean, we who are founders, we clearly know that, once a week, sometimes every other week, but on a regular basis, we certainly do have communication with the CEO, as we have these weekly meetings, right? Mm-hmm. So we know that is there. We have a back office that we'll receive communication from as well. There's a leadership council in place that also communicate to the rest of the founders, right? And then we also know that this business has been built from scratch. So if it's been built from scratch, it's not necessary to give a hard date as to when, it's going to launch, right? Because you're able to see the progress. Back in 2018, there was nothing.
Right.
We didn't see much. Mm-hmm. And as a result of that, in the first 6 months, we only had 10,000 that came on board, right? As opposed to the last 6 months, where we've seen so much now, right? The brand new corporate website, the different products, the names, information about them, the pre-release of 4 of them, and so on. So you start to see a lot of information. So that tells us that we're just on the verge now of soft launch, right? We're on the verge of it, right? Mm-hmm. And then with regards to making money, as I said before, if people understand the power of duplication and the power of leverage, you put those two things together, okay, and you're basically setting yourself up for exponential growth in your income, right? Mm-hmm. So any number that someone can realistically imagine, income-wise, right? Realistically imagine now. Don't tell me you want to make $1 trillion, okay? Or I had a guy, I think it was yesterday, he wants to make billions upon billions. Okay, I'm saying a realistic number, okay? So any number that a person can think of, they can make it within ONPASSIVE, right? If someone is used to making $40,000 a year, they can make that in ONPASSIVE. If someone is used to making $2,000 a year, they can make that in ONPASSIVE. So I can easily tell someone that you can replace your full-time income with ONPASSIVE, right? And instead of working, 40 hours a week, for 365 days a year, or however many days a year they may work, the mm-hmm. point is you'll be making money while you are sleeping with ONPASSIVE. That's a massive difference. So that means while I'm sleeping, I'm making money. While I'm awake, I'm making money without me having to be doing the work, mm-hmm. right? Where else can you get that, right? Where else can you get that? And so people have to understand that it's all about customers. And as long as your customer base continues to grow, it means that you're making money. So people, they're going to be fine.
Okay. So yeah, it's about making money and so on. I know that in some of the meetings, the CEO actually he doesn't like the idea of us thinking of that we're making money. He just says, yes, we are going to build wealth and so on and so forth. And he actually stresses a lot on the humanitarian part of this company. Can you throw more light? What do you think about his humanitarian perspective of the company? Yeah.
Well, it's, money and humanitarianism goes hand in hand, right? You can't be a humanitarian without any type of money being involved somehow, right? Because people have needs, right? We know that there are people out there that are destitute. We know that there are people who are experiencing domestic violence. We know there are people out there, who, are homeless, right? People who have, don't even have clean water, right? So we know that there's a lot of need that's out there in the marketplace. And so Mr. Mafar created ONPASSIVE to help people generate wealth. He wants people to be wealthy. Why? So that they can take care of themselves and their family and use the excess, because there will be excess. Use that excess to go bless the lives of people around the world, right? By supporting these causes, right? So we know that is a big driving power for him, right? And the company is to try and do it. I'm not going to say they're going to eradicate poverty. I don't believe that will be the case, but it certainly can make a dent in that gap, closing that poverty gap, right? And I think if you create the right mindset in all the founders that we have, then we're certainly much closer to achieving that goal, and so that's why Oh Bless, right, the company's crowdfunding platform was created, right, and being one of the first products, so that way immediately people can start blessing others' lives, because it doesn't take much. You have a base of 600,000, just $1 a month, that's $600,000 going towards any good cause that's out there, right? And we know there are lots of them, right? So yeah, that is at the forefront of Ash Mafar's mind, right? And everything that he does, Oh Woman, Oh Bless, we see those and others that will be coming on board. We see those as things that are definitely geared towards helping humanity, uplifting humanity as best as possible.
Right. Okay, you just mentioned Oh Bless and Oh Women as if you knew what I had here. So if you could, please, because there is a lot that is being said about Oh Bless. I've been making some collections. I thought I had them here. So according to Dr. Idris Modi, he says Oh Bless is the spice of ONPASSIVE. And then there's this lady from Papua New Guinea. He says Oh Bless is a signature of ONPASSIVE. And Dr. Micheal Williams says the foundation of ONPASSIVE lies on Oh Bless. So if you could explain to our people what is Oh Bless, and they say another expression or another saying goes like Oh Bless is going to revolutionize the crowdfunding platform. So explain to all what is Oh Bless about and what makes it different from other crowdfunding platforms, because it's not like it's the first.
Yeah, well, it's certainly not the first. But what happens though in the crowdfunding space is that the companies that provide the platform, the means or the mechanism for one to give to another, what they do, they're doing it as a business, right? They're not doing it because they're trying to help people, right? The main focus is a business. So any business, right, they're there to make money. Right. So what these crowdfunding platforms do, they take up to 30% of the funds that's raised. So, you raise $100 and only $70 is going towards the actual cause. The other $30, the company's keeping for themselves. Right. So that can eat away at a big chunk. Can you imagine $1 million and $300,000 the company keeps and only 700,000 go to the actual cause? Right. So there's a lot of money that's being lost, because of the middle person, right? And so what ONPASSIVE is saying that, yes, we understand that, companies need to make money, but we don't have to take 30%, right? So how about us taking 5%? That's a massive difference, right? When only 5% is retained by ONPASSIVE and, the bulk of it is going out there to the cause. So that's a huge difference. And I think a lot of people, will respect that and support that. So they will jump in and use ONPASSIVE Oh Bless platform as opposed to some of these others that are out there, right? But Oh Bless in itself, even within, when founders, when resellers, when they're getting paid, right? When they're getting paid, they'll have that right in their face to have the opportunity to bless someone else. As they're withdrawing their money to bless themselves, they have the opportunity to bless someone else. And so if you keep doing that, they talk about repetition, right? So if you keep doing that and showing that over and over and over again, if a person didn't get it in the beginning, at some point they're gonna get it and they say, you know what, yeah, maybe I should, donate some of my income to someone else, and there's lots of, positives where that is concerned. But the whole idea really is just to be able to be in a situation where someone has a cause, whether it be, Red Cross or, some of these established ones that we know, St. Jude's Hospital, regardless of what the cause is, right? As long as it's a legitimate cause, because it could be a personal cause as well, right? So as long as it's legit, then the company supports it, and then we as founders will be able to support it, and all those outside will be able to support it in the public. So I can see how OBLESS alone is going to help so many individuals globally.
This is actually very important. So one more follow-up question to that. Who actually stands to benefit from OBLESS? Is it just the founding members of ONPASSIVE, or anybody else who is in need and wants to help a cause can come to OBLESS and get funds raised?
Yeah, so anyone around the globe, right? Whether it be an organization, right? Like whether it be an NGO, a nonprofit, it doesn't matter. It could, like I said, and it could be an individual, it could be, homeless people, right? Someone is homeless, or someone may have an emergency need, so it could be individuals as well. So as long as they can, support, what it is that they're, like show proof, right? You just can't just come and say, oh, I'm down on my luck, can you send me $100,000?
Right.
You know what I mean? So as long as it's legit, right? So it goes for any and everyone, right? Anyone that's out there in the public, not just founders, but anyone. They what are we? Almost 8 billion people on the planet, right? So anyone who has a need, a cause, right? They can come to the table. They can come and get funding through OBLESS. Whether they're raising it for themselves or raising it for someone else, a family member, and all these other public, cancer research, all the different things that are out there, people will be able to do it. So it's a wide range of application and individuals that will be able to benefit from this for sure.
Okay, now that we are talking products, and I'm going to link this back to your business again. One of the things you said was that you did email marketing and so on. And one of the great products that ONPASSIVE has got to offer is OMail. So how is OMail going to function, and what exactly is OMail representing or replacing? How is it? I don't really, just tell us about OMail.
Yeah, so I mean, OMail is, instead of people using Yahoo or Hotmail, Gmail, right, they'll be able to use OMail, right? So it's a similar email platform, right? It's a similar email platform, except it's, it's going to be more hassle-free is how I would classify it, right? But it's the same way you use your Gmail. It's just the same way you'll be using OMail. Right, because a lot of people don't realize that, these other platforms, Proton Mail, they have a premium service. It's not just a free service that's there, right? These companies are offering something free in order to get people, and they make money on the back end. So whether it be through ads, Google's a big company. Google has lots of products. People just don't know what these products are, right? If you're not using them, so OMail is just another way to kind of make people's experience on the internet pleasant, clean, because we know we get a lot of junk in our email accounts. We know that, okay, I did not give this person or this organization my email address, so how did they get my email address to be emailing me stuff, right? So so all these things, ONPASSIVE is looking to clean up, clean up the internet and how we communicate, and so OMail is going to be a big part of that.
All right, thank you. We are just gradually approaching the end, so I have one or two more quick questions. So you talked about building wealth. Let's go back to this again, because it's important, and people are suffering around the world.
Yes.
One of the things we know that founders are encouraged to do is get founding positions for families, friends, children, and so on. How will a founding position, or how will a position be on ONPASSIVE be useful for a child, for my child, for example, if I get a founding member position for them?
Well, I have 3 children, right? And each of them have 5 accounts. Okay.
Oh.
So, my eldest just started university. And so can you imagine by the time she graduates, she's already generating a full-time income without working one day of her life.
Oh, yeah.
You understand? So, you know, to me, that's powerful, right? That, because a lot of children, they go to, you know, students, they go off to university, and when they graduate and they can't get a job in their field, you know, so you went for 4 years, you understand, to get a bachelor's degree, and then you end up working at, I don't know, McDonald's or something, right? Until you can find something. You know?
I've gone through that though.
right.
Yeah.
Until you can find something in your field. So, but can you imagine now that it's no longer about, well, let me just go, you know, be a doctor just because I know doctors make a lot of money. Maybe you're not passionate about being a doctor. You know, maybe you're being a teacher because, oh, teacher, they get good benefits, right? And so, you know, so you're not really, you know, choosing your passion. You're not choosing something that you're passionate about, right? You're just doing it because you know, okay, there's good money there. Let me go be an engineer because engineers make good money. You understand?
Right.
So now, with when your child has an ONPASSIVE account, it allows that child now to explore whatever it is that they truly want to do in life. You know what I mean? There's no pressure, there's no stress, you know, placed on that child. Right now, they can actually pursue what it is they want in life. So I think that's a massive, you know, hand up if you wish. You know what I mean? Giving that child a helping hand so that no, don't worry about it. I still want you to go to school. I'm not saying not to go to school because ONPASSIVE is there. You still need to go to school. You still need to get an education, right? But now you can actually pursue what it is that you want, and I think that's going to be, you know, a massive benefit. Right, for a lot of kids. So parents out there, yeah, you want to make sure that your child has at least one account. Okay, you don't have to be like me and give them 5. You want to have at least one, because, you know, one is enough, right? One is enough. But I want to create a legacy, right?
Yeah.
A family legacy. So not just for my children, but for their children, and so on and so forth. Right? And that's what all those accounts will do.
Oh. Yeah, this is encouraging, and it's good to know. It's just such a blessing that we don't know how it came about. Anybody who finds themselves on ONPASSIVE should count themselves a blessing.
Absolutely.
So, apart from that, can you please just, there's this exciting one that just popped up to about a week ago. All women. What do you, just a quick comment about all women. What do you think about all women?
Well, you know, you know, in growing up, you know, for most of my life as a child, single mom, right? So, you know, when I see my mom sometimes working 3 jobs, right? She didn't have to do it, you know, but it's something that she chose to do to make sure that her 3 children, you know, were taken care of, right? And so, you know, when I see that, you know, that encourages me, you know, to do my best, right? And so I know, you know, the importance of women in general. So whether a person is a mother, whether they're a wife, whether they're a daughter, sister, you know what I mean? Just women in general, by all means, they play an important role in society, right? Regardless of what some, you know, may say, right? The truth of the matter is, if it wasn't for a woman, I wouldn't be here, bottom line. You know what I mean? You wouldn't be here, bottom line, right? So we all come from women, you know, and so, you know, you have to respect that, you know what I mean? You really do. And people should always do their best to help women in particular, because men, you know, we kind of, you know, we can get by. You know, we can rough it, we can, you know, do whatever. But, you know, to me, you know, opening the door for a woman, you know, they need help with, you know, carrying the groceries, whatever, right? Whatever the case may be. You know, woman is a, you know, and there's some great decision makers who are women. You understand? So they play all sorts of roles in society. And so it just makes sense that a company that cares about humanity, right? A company that says it cares about humanity definitely should have women at the forefront as far as making sure that, you know, their needs, their wants are taken care of. You know, and as I said, we know society, you know, especially in some parts of the world, that, you know, they abuse women. Let me put it that way.
Right.
You know, and some men, have abusive relationships with women, regardless of where they are in the world. So we know that there's a lot of things that's just not right. You know what I mean? Within